5 things that you should be aware of before you meet with your personal injury lawyer. If you were injured on someone else's property, like slipping on ice, tripping on a loose tile, or falling down unsafe stairs, here are 5 things that you should know before first meeting with a personal injury lawyer. I'm Natalie Gerry, the principal lawyer and founder of Gerry Law. I've helped hundreds of people get compensation they deserve for their injuries. Let's get into this topic. 5 things that you should know before meeting with your lawyer. First of all, prepare to bring your evidence. So you want to have your photos, any medical records you have on hand, or incident reports. You want to be showing your lawyer this evidence, whether you're meeting your lawyer in person, over the phone, or virtually on a platform like Zoom or Teams. You want to make sure that you have this evidence on hand and that you're able to send it to the lawyer after the meeting. This includes photos of where the injury happened, whether this was on a wet floor or a broken step or ice patch. These photos of the injury location are very important for building your case. You also want to make sure that you have pictures of your injuries, both right after the accident happened and then as you are recovering. If you have medical records, those are always helpful for the lawyer to review, although they will probably request your medical records from the hospital or institution itself, because then they get the more complete records. You can also bring any receipts that you have for out-of-pocket expenses related to your accident. So this could be something like a taxi to the hospital. It could be over-the-counter medication that you had to take for pain. It could be the cost of crutches or a brace. So it's good to keep all of those things and make sure that you provide them to your lawyer after or during this meeting. If you have a copy of an incident report that you filed with the property owner or the store manager, then that is also very helpful. Copies of emails or correspondence exchanged with the landlord or with staff is also very helpful. The second thing to know, and that is very helpful meeting with your lawyer for the first time, is to have a timeline of events. So things can get a little bit complicated when you're explaining everything and this happened, that happened. So it is good to have a written record of what happened when. So you might want to write down things like when and why you were at the property, with details like the time of day, whether it was dark out. You also want to record details like what you saw or experienced before the fall, at the moment of the injury, and anyone who was around. So any witnesses, if you have their names, then that is also something that you want to provide to your lawyer. Also make note in the timeline of what happened afterwards. So when you went to get medical help, who you spoke with, etc. Point number 3 is that you may want to ask the lawyer or ask their assistant, person you booked the appointment with, what to bring before the meeting. So you can contact the lawyer's office in advance, and they might tell you to bring things like a list of doctors or clinics that you visited, your health card or medical files, details about your job or income if you've missed work and if you have a loss of income, also contact information for any witnesses. But not to worry if you're missing things. Your lawyer will work with you and will remind you of what they need over time so that you can provide everything over time. The 4th point is that you should write down your questions. It's really easy when you're meeting with the lawyer to forget questions that you had before. So in the few days leading up to the meeting, if you think of something, make sure that you write it down. Some common questions that I get asked a lot in initial meetings are things like, what kind of compensation could I expect in this action? How long will the case take? Do I need to deal with the property owner's insurance company? Will this go to court? So these are some of the questions that you may want to ask, and the answer usually varies based on the specifics of your claim. Point number 5 is you want to give some thought to what outcome you want from your lawsuit. Are you mainly looking for reimbursement for your out-of-pocket expenses? Are you looking for your lost wages to be covered because you haven't had income? Are you looking for justice, so you want to go to court and have your day in court? Or are you looking for a settlement without going to court? Even if you're unsure, However, the lawyer can give you the options of what is realistic based on your case. It's a good idea to have a little bit of a sense going in though what you are after. So overall, the more prepared you are, the more your lawyer can help you. So bring what you can to the initial meeting, tell your story as clearly as possible, and definitely do not be afraid to ask questions. I can be reached at the contact information below if you have any more questions or if you want to discuss your case.